I knew. Skip the introduction. This film fucking sucks. Okay? It's garbage. It's just... what words I can say? It's nothing but pure fucking garbage. I hate this film. This is why I said this is easily the worst of the franchise. I thought when Expendables 3, it was pissing me off at the time. Said it couldn't get worse, but guess what? I was dead wrong, like I said, because this is easily the worst. Expendables 4. I'm not gonna do it. Must compose myself. You know, this thing is this insulting. You know, when how good the first film was, and I saw it was a great time seeing the theater. You know, being this callback to all the 80s and 90s action stars and the films back then. You know, and yes, like I said before, there were some flaws in it though. Like I said, some wonky CGI like could have been fixed, and some of the shaky cam, right? A little bit, some CGI blood here and there though, but overall I enjoyed the first Expendables. It was great seeing all these actors, these action stars together, and so it made the first film so good. Expendables 2 was disappointing. I mean, Van Damme, he was a good villain, but he was sorely underused. Same with Scott Adkins, But it was very infuriating, just how shit that fight was between Stallone and Van Damme. Like I said, you had two of the most iconic action stars, and it was a short, one-sided shit fight. That Stallone got more hits than Van Damme did. Then it became way too jokey, too far with its humor. It was like I said, it became more of a parody spoof of the first movie. And 3 was pissed me off more. Yeah, Mel Gibson, once again, he was a good villain, but underused. And this new team that I did not give a shit about. This new younger team. I didn't give a shit about Glenn Powell or Ronda Rousey or Victor Ortiz or Cullen Lutz. I didn't give a shit about any of those people. I wish they all had died. And I thought it would piss me off, but I couldn't get worse. No, Expendables 4 is a lot worse. This is easily one of the worst ones I saw this year. Last year, 2023. It was, I forgot what I put it. It had been in my top 3. I had to, because in the top 3, I knew it would have been The Flash, the new Ninja Turtles animated shit film, and then this movie. I had to been in my top 3. I think it had been. Plus, I even knew it was garbage before I even saw the movie. From the trailer itself, Oh, they want it R-rated. It should have been PG-13. Okay. We want more blood and guts. Yeah, bad CGI blood and guts. This film is not only is the worst movie of the franchise, but box office wise and critical wise. This film was panned by critics, has a 4.8 on IMDb, way much lower than the previous movies, and has a 13% on Rotten Tomatoes, way lower than the previous, even much lower than the number 3 then. And it bombed the box office badly. For some reason, this cost $100 million, which, but I don't see that because this film looks even cheaper than all the other ones, much cheaper. This film, it made what, $16 million in the U.S. combined total $50 million. That's a huge box office flop, I think, or did it maybe made 30 some million? I think it was between 30 to 50 million. I'm sure when I put it by the time this uploaded, I put it in the description how much money it made. So overall, by the time this is uploaded, this you'll see in the description. Usually we want to do the descriptions, budget, then grossings, right? It'll be in the description. But by the time I'm doing this, it's like between 30 or 50 million. Either way, that's a huge box office flop. This is what killed this franchise now. And yes, it should kill this franchise. It should have been after number 3. But after this franchise is dead, and it should stay dead now. Okay. This film killed this franchise, and it should stay dead. No more Expendables movies, especially when it's a 9-year difference after 9 years after the 3rd movie. and plus, not only that, we have an even more shittier cast of teams, right? I thought that the newer crew from the 3rd film was shit too, but this is even much shittier. Who's the new additions? Well, number one, I know this film would suck because Megan Fox is in it. That's right away I knew this film was going to suck. Okay? Because I hate Megan Fox. She cannot act for shit. Okay? She's not good as an actress. She's a shit actress. And I don't buy her, never buy her as a tough action star. Like she was at, I buy her, as a soldier with that Killer Lion movie. I don't buy her tough. I don't buy her at all as an action star. She's a shit actress. She just stop making movies and just do modeling or whatever. That's all she's ever good for, That's all she's good for. A pretty face, body-wise, also. That's all she's ever good for. She needs to stop being in movies just to be for eye candy for us to see. I'm sick of her. I'm tired of her face in movies. Get out of movies, okay? Oh, you're being too harsh. She's been mostly every movie I've seen her, she's sucked in. Okay? I hate Jennifer's body, which I don't like the fact that Lisa Frankenstein, they say, is part of that universe. I hate the fact of that, I don't see the difference anyway. I hate Jennifer's body. She was shit in the Transformers movies. Okay? When I first saw her there. She was that shit in that, that Killer Lion movie, I forget what it was. Jonah Hex, she was shit in that. And also on top of that, it shows how terrible she is. Because this film was nominated for about 7 Razzies, including for Worst Director, Worst Picture, Worst Actress, which was Megan Fox, and she won the Razzie for Worst Actress, and she deservedly so because she's shit. And she even actually it's for a supporting actress, I think it was, because she in the same year she won another Razzie for Worst Actress in another movie that she starred in. Forget what it was though, but she won. So let's see. So 2 separate movies in 2023, and she won for Worst Actress, and she won for Worst Supporting Actress. What does that tell you there about her? She's terrible. She's shit. Okay. So that's one right away. I knew this film would suck because she's in it. Who else is in addition to the cast? 50 Cent. Who also can't act for shit. Not to mention, to me, I think he's a shit rapper. He's a shitty rapper to me. Okay? I would rather have preferred Ice Cube, or LL Cool J, or even Ice-T. There are much better actors than 50 Cent. Or Curtis Jackson, if you want to call by his real name. Who else? Tony Jaa, I like Tony Jaa, which, by the way, him and Dolph Lundgren, there was a much better movie they started together, and that was in Skin Trade, and that was direct-to-video, which that film had much more better fights than this. Skin Trade, that was direct-to-video, and it cost a lot less, and the fights were much better. And Tony Jaa and Dolph Lundgren were better in that movie. Tony Jaa, he is barely given anything to do. The villains, Uwais, Sorry, I mispronounced. It's Iko Uwais. He's the villain in this. He's from the Raid Redemption, which I enjoy that film, and that film costed about $1 million compared to what we see in this. Raid Redemption cost about $1 million, and the action is, some people could say, is one of the better action scenes they've seen in recent modern action movies. And that says a lot for a film that costed like so little compared to what this film costed $100 million. So yeah, you know, Raid Redemption was so much better and it costed very little. And was it Iko Uwais? You know, was he Sub-Zero in the new Mortal Kombat film from 2021? I think he was, and to me, I think he was just lame. Okay, but he was not much as a villain either. And but the thing is, he's not even the main villain. Oh, spoilers, right? First of all, I don't give a shit if it's spoilers. This was a shit movie anyway, so I don't give a shit about spoilers. But spoilers, he's not even the main villain. Okay, turns out because there was this mysterious villain named Ocelot, who he's working for because like Iko Uwais, he's wants to get these nuclear weapons for this person named Ocelot. And it turns out it's Andy Garcia, which he's a guy who is a CIA agent who gives the Expendables the mission, right? He's the one who gives them the mission, and not Harrison Ford, and of course you can't bring back Bruce Willis because he's gone since the third film. Plus he has dementia, so he can't come back anyway. But he's the new guy who gives him like the mission. But it turns out he's the actual main villain. And the thing is though, him and Iko Uwais, I would say they're the worst villains of this franchise. Because, like, in the first, like, okay, you narrow down the first movie, you had Eric Roberts, who I think is an underrated actor. I think he did a good job as the bad guy. Stone Cold Steve Austin, he was cool too, cool to see him. Fight between him and Stallone. But the kind of the subpar fight with him and Randy Couture, like I said, bad CGI when he was on fire. But it was cool to see Stone Cold Steve Austin. Expendables 2, Van Damme was good as the bad guy, but he was barely given anything to do. Yeah, it was cool when he did when he kicked the knife into Liam Hemsworth. It was cool to see that, and it was cool he did his signature spinning kick, right? But the thing is, though, they had to reuse that exact same first kick he did and reuse it seconds later. I'm like, you cheap bastards, you know? Can't even him do an actual second kick around. But and Scott Adkins, he was underused. But at least Van Damme, he was good as the villain, but given a bad name named Vallon. Like, get it, Vallon. Yeah. Expendables 3, Mel Gibson, he was good. He was also good as the bad guy. You know, especially when in the scene when he was talking to Stallone in the car. You know, he was kind of like being like Martin Riggs from Lethal Weapon, right? Hey, yeah, how about? Come on, let's have at it, you know. I snap your spine, you snap my spine. Make it snappy, you know. Hey kids, how you doing? Killed anybody lately? Oh, he thinks I'm joking. I'm not. You don't want to see me when I'm angry. No, I'll rip your heart out. You know, see when I'm ripping your heart out. See, that's kind of like dialogue, something that Martin Riggs would say from Lethal Weapon, and that's what I think Mel Gibson was doing, you know, which that was kind of nice to see. He was kind of like channeling Martin Riggs. He was good as the bad guy. So even though Expendables 2 was disappointing and Expendables 3, which was not good at all, which pissed me off though more, but at least he had decent villains, but sadly underused, like Van Damme and Mel Gibson. Here, Andy Garcia and Iko Uwais, they're barely nothing villains. And like I said, bad CGI, and on top of that, even so much worse CGI. I forgot to mention at the end of Expendables 3 when the building was collapsing and Stallone was running on the rooftop to get to the chopper, which by the way I forgot to mention that too. Another stupid joke when once again Arnold, when he mentioned I'm back, what I'm tired of hearing, he also said get to the chopper as well in the third film. Good morning, let's get to the chopper. stop with your you ruin your classic lines. They're ruined now. But the point is though, everyone's in the chopper. Stallone's running on the roof as the buildings collapse in. That was bad CGI green screen background when Stallone was running in the Expendables 3. Forgot to mention that was bad CGI as well. Here, this is CGI is a whole lot worse because pretty much everything is the background is nothing but green screen CGI green screen. The actions is like so much CGI blood, and even the explosions and the whole ship and everything it was bad CGI. So much worse. Costed $100 million. It looks so cheap, so much more cheaper than the last three. So getting ahead of myself. Getting ahead of myself. So in the beginning, with Stallone, I forget what the beginning was. Was there? I don't care at this point. But there was one point where Stallone was talking to Jason Statham outside his house, and even when Stallone was talking to Jason Statham, you can see behind Stallone is a green screen. So you can't even shoot that in actual location. You have to do a green screen as well. Because he said he lost his lucky ring, the ring he wears in situations where he puts it on, and it's at this bar where the ring is. I want to see this in an Expendables movie. The ring is hanging on like two or flesh-colored dildos. I'm like, this is what we see in an Expendables movie, really? And so then they get the ring back because Jason fights these guys in this bar, and Stallone flips one guy over. And then that's when Andy Garcia gives him this. He comes in, gives him this mission, and the team. And now the team. Okay, I forgot to mention the team. Terry Crews doesn't come back. Forget the reason why. But no Jet Li, no Arnold. Of course, no Mickey Rourke. Like I said, Bruce Willis. Like I said, he has dementia now. Sad to say, so there's no way for him to come back. Like I said, and plus, speaking of, where's the newer team from Expendables 3? Where's Glenn Powell? Where's Cullen Lutz, Ronald Rousey, Victor Ortiz? Or where's no Antonio Banderas? Where are they at? Which, if they said no to the script, which I don't even blame them for. I don't blame Arnold or Jet Li for coming back or Terry Crews, because this film was too much shit anyway. So I won't blame him. Blame them. So, and then Megan Fox is Jason Statham's girlfriend. I mean, whatever happened to Charisma Carpenter? Yeah, I got her name right. Yeah, it was Charisma Carpenter from the first one. She had a brief appearance in the beginning of the second film. What happened to her? No idea. So now he has, and now. Supposed to buy. I know there's scenes like with Jason Statham with Megan Fox, but no nudity or anything because despite being R-rated though. But besides, I don't need to see. Well, that's probably the only thing that's Megan Fox is ever good for anyway. Like I said, she still can't act for shit. So, but you don't see anything anyway. So. Oh yeah, it was Rogue. That's what it was. Yeah, Rogue. That was the one with Megan Fox she was a soldier against these killer lions. Yeah, it was called Rogue. I'd rather watch Rogue with the Killer Crocodile from 2007. That's what with Sam Worthington. I'd rather watch that Rogue. Although that would have been a cool concept, you know, Expendables versus a giant, huge killer croc. That would have been cool to see. Now I think about it. But with at least another, they get this mission from Andy Garcia, and they go on this mission. Action is lame car chase, CGI blood, and then one thing leads to another. That because Stallone is on this plane. Is on the plane, and Statham's telling him to go, and then his plane gets shot down. And they think Stallone's dead because they see what they see is Stallone. What they think they see is Stallone because they see his ring, his beret, so they think he's dead. And they have a funeral for him. I'm like, if they had a funeral for him, why? You would think that, you know, the other past team members will come back just for that, you know, to pay their respects, like Arnold or Jet Li or Terry Crews, Antonio Banderas. You would think, like, those characters would go for his funeral because they know about Barney Ross, you know? But no. Probably couldn't afford it. So plus this is more Jason Statham's, movie anyway, more so because he only appears at the beginning of this movie and then up towards the end. And by the way, yes, Stallone, he was nominated for a Razzie as well, and he won the Razzie for Worst Supporting Actor. I mean, it's another Razzie that has because Stallone's been nominated for Razzies for several years, for past how many years, so it's not surprising he won another Razzie. But despite his limited screen time in this movie, you know, he's only at the beginning and then appears at the end. So they decided they have to go after Uwais, and Tony Jaa is with them. What is it? 50 Cent is with them. Randy Couture, I forgot to mention Randy Couture. Why can't they just kill this guy off? I said before, I say it again. He was the only one of the group who's not good in any of these movies. You know, they should have killed him off either from the second film or the third film. But here he gets shot in this, but he still can't die. Why can't they just kill Randy Couture off? Like I said before, they're called the Expendables for a reason. Nobody is expendable in these movies except for one. That was Liam Hemsworth, and I don't care about his character. He was pretty much the only one. No one else dies in either of these movies. So what's the point of calling them Expendables if none of them can't die? So where was I at? Brief second, I forgot where we were. So they're gonna lead the team. Oh, and by the way, yeah. Once again, you know, I feel bad for Dolph Lundgren. Once again, he's been made a joke. Here, because he's older, he needs glasses, right? And he wears a wig, because, you know, for online dating, right? So once again, he's once again he you know, it's just sad for the first movie. Like I said, a guy who seemed so unhinged, a psycho. You know, he blows a guy's upper body in half. He blows a guy in half. The upper part goes flying back. You know, warning shot, a little low. And then him just, you know, fighting with Jet Li, you know, bring it, Happy Feet. You know, being almost a turncoat on his team, but then they bring him back in, though. But it was cool to see Dolph Lundgren, you know, and this second film, he was a joke, talking about eating whale ass, making fun of his real-life chemical engineering, like blowing his nose and the bomb doesn't work. Number 3, he's given nothing to do, literally, except for drive a tank. Here, he does one or two things, so okay, so he does a small improvement over what he did in the third movie. Whoop-de-doo. He shoots a couple of people. He needs his glasses to do it, but, and then of course, if he drinks alcohol, then he doesn't need his glasses, and he shoots boom, boom, boom. So, I just feel bad for I just the guy who just is. I think out of all the action stars, Dolph Lundgren is most underrated out of all of them. I enjoy his films like Showdown Little Tokyo, I Come in Peace, was it Men of War, Red Scorpion, The Punisher. To me he's been one of the more underrated action stars, and I feel bad for him that he's been given nothing to do for the rest of these sequels. And so one thing leads to another. Then, what was it? The 50 Cent. I could barely understand what he says because sometimes he just mumbles all these movie stars, and he mumbles. I could barely understand what he says. It doesn't help that he can't act for shit either. And to me, he's a shitty rapper. I would never been a fan of 50 Cent. I never have been. Snoop Dogg, there's another rapper. Snoop Dogg, I forgot to mention. He's a much better actor. He's a rapper that's a much better actor than 50 Cent is. I forgot to mention him. LL Cool J, Ice Cube, and Ice-T. Snoop Dogg is a much better rapper, and he's a much better actor than 50 Cent is. Because, not long ago or so, I saw him in a vampire film called Day Shift with Jamie Foxx. And he was in it. He was a vampire hunter. Snoop Dogg did a good job in that movie. I really watched Day Shift in this movie, and Snoop Dogg is a much better actor and a rapper than 50 Cent is. Rather would have had him in here, Wouldn't say the movie though, but still, rather would have him than freaking 50 Cent. He ain't worth 1 cent. He's not worth a penny. And then what else? Freaking, I'm going all over the place, but I don't care. And the one thing leads to because the second half of this movie takes place. The rest of the movie takes place on this big cargo ship. Bad CGI screen and backdrops in the ship. Megan Fox leads the team, and they get captured in like 5 seconds. I'm like, good job, Megan Fox. It shows how much more shittier can you be. At least she tries to lead the team, and they get captured in 5 seconds. Which I think that could have happened in real life. If she does, that would happen. God, I can't stand her ass. I can't. She is one on my top list of the worst actors or actresses. She is easily on the list. She's nothing but shit in everything she does. And it further proves it when she won 2 straight Razzies for Worst Actress and Worst Supporting Actress. Do I need to say any more? So Statham has to rescue them along with the help with Tony Jaa. He comes along, and there's one where like I said, the shoot on top of the ship. It's bad CGI, like I said. Where with this one point, it's really shitty CGI where this guy and this part of this plane crashes, explodes, and they flips over the side of the ship. Horrendous CGI. And then one point where the team is still trapped, Randy Couture has to piss something. He has to piss on something for like this grid to slide and they can escape. So right, I had another piss joke in there, right? And it's from Randy Couture, great. Like I said, I respect him as an MMA fighter, but like I said, he sucks as an actor. He should have been killed several times over. But they don't. And the fights with Iko Uwais is not much. It's like with the rest of the bad guys in the past movies. It's short and it's nothing. Short and one-sided because Jason Statham, he gets more hits, and when he does get hit, he barely gets to have a scratch on him. Jason Statham, he barely gets a scratch on him. And then Tony Jaa, he does a couple stuff with a knife, and he does his signature move where he flips and kicks his leg down. When he flips forward, he kicks his leg down. Nice to see that, but it's not much though. Megan Fox, she does what you saw in the trailer. She, jumps on top of one guy, spins around, wraps her legs around the one guy. That's all pretty much what she does. And then the big reveal. Oh, Andy Garcia. He's the main villain. He's the Ocelot. and the rest of the team escape, and then by surprise, Stallone, he's alive, he arrives in a helicopter and blows Andy Garcia to bits. Bad CGI blood once again. You know, and then they blow up the ship with the nukes on there, and once again, bad CGI. You know what's funny thing is, speaking of this, the rest of this whole movie takes place on a ship. The funny thing is, I make a comparison. This turns out to be like a shitty version of Under Siege with Steven Seagal. It's like pretty much a shitty version of Under Siege, except Under Siege is way, way miles better with a good, actual good villains like Tommy Lee Jones, Gary Busey, Cole Meany, and better choreographed fisticuff fights with Steven Seagal, right? Better fight scenes. And you know what? I'm saying this, and I'm also saying this with a straight face. People can say whatever I have to say, what I have to say, but you know what? I'm saying it with a straight face. Speed 2 Cruise Control is a lot better than this. If you want to say take place on a ship, right? Speed 2 Cruise Control is miles better than this. And that's not a good movie either. But I'm saying with a straight face. I'm being dead serious. Speed 2 is miles better than this. You know, yeah, Jason Patrick should, you know, have Keanu Reeves back instead, though. But at least there were some things that were practical. You know, like, you know, the setting of the ship and, you know, the ship crashing into things, you know. At least that was done practical, not CGI. I give credit to that. And I would say Willem Dafoe is a much better villain than Uwais or Andy Garcia. You know, at least, you know, we can see that Willem Dafoe, he's being so over the top, chewing the scenery, you know. Willem Dafoe was a much better villain. Speed 2 was a much better movie than this. And I'm saying this dead seriously with a straight face. You think I'm joking? I'm not. Speed 2 is not a good movie though, but I'm saying it, I'm dead on saying with a straight face, you know. Speed 2 Cruise Control is a much better movie than Expendables 4. You think I'm crazy? Go ahead, but I'm being dead serious. That, I know, that's not a good movie either, but for if you want to think of the scenario taking place on a ship, Speed 2 is much better. Like I said, at least there was some good practical stuff work with the settings with the ship, and when it's, like I said, when it crashes into things, model work, whatever they use, is done for real and practical. So that's one thing I give a positive to Speed 2. At least it was a lot of stuff that it was done for real. Even when they tried to turn the ship, you know, it looked like it was done for real. Here, when Jason Statham, when he tries to tilt the ship, it's bad CGI. So you tell me what scenes looks better? The scene of the ship where the tilting was bad CGI, or with the ship in Speed 2? I think, which would you choose? CGI or stuff that's done for real? I think you would make the pick, right? And that film costed much more than this movie. Yeah, Speed 2 cost about, what, $160 million? This cost $100 million, and it looked a lot more cheaper. Which makes it even more infuriating. And then Stallone gives his bullshit reason why he's not dead, because the guy in the bar they fought earlier, he took him, knocked him out, and put him in the bathroom of their plane, which I'm like, what if someone had to go to the bathroom? Oop, your plan's ruined. Which no one had to go to the bathroom this whole entire time on their trip, right? So it's very convenient of that. And then when he escaped, he parachuted down. Stallone parachuted down like no one saw the parachute. Nobody. So there's that. And then they go back to the bar, which Tony Jaa's not there. I don't know why, since he had like some the respects for. I think he was a former Expendable on Stallone's team, but he left a long time ago. But if he, you know, things he has this relationship with Barney Ross, why wouldn't he not be there? And then the film ends with they have to play Thin Lizzy's The Boys Are Back in Town like they did at the end of the first movie. Don't do that. It makes it look stupid now, okay? It worked in the ending of the first movie. Not in this. I don't need to hear this in your shit sequel now. This is a bullshit movie. It's garbage. It's trash. I will say it's childish. Childish just means so much cheaper. Bad CGI green screen everywhere. Shit action. Bad CGI blood, even worse. Lame villains. Lame villains. Terrible casting. Terrible cast of this team. And a much more shittier team. Like I said, 50 Cent fucking sucks. Megan Fox still can't act for shit. She's one of the most shitty actors I've seen in ever. Get out of the movie business and do, like I said, do freaking modeling. That's all you're ever good for. Nothing but a bombshell. That's what she is. She can't. She's not tough. I don't buy her as an action star. She's shit. Nothing more. Tired of seeing her. What else? Like I said, Andy Garcia is a good actor, but he's a useless villain. To be, oh, surprise, he's the actually main villain. Because I wonder who's the actual, because they don't know who this onslaught is. They assume it's Iko Uwais, but oh, surprise. And even Iko Uwais, I'd rather watch The Raid Redemption. Action done on $1 million budget, and the action is 10 times superior than this movie is. Apparently, the people who made this movie, they never saw that movie, so And the thing is, it completely defeats the purpose of what the Expendables was, the first movie. Be this callback to the 80s and 90s action films with all these great action stars, right? And the tone was consistent. The tone became inconsistent since Expendables 2, and it hasn't been that consistent since then, And Dolph Lundgren, he went from a psycho to nothing but a joke in every movie. And doing absolutely nothing for the rest of the sequels as well. Randy Couture, he should have been killed several times over. Like I said before, he's never, to me, I never bought it. He sucked as an actor. As a good fighter though, but he should have been killed either in the second film, third film, or in this film. He gets shot though, but he still doesn't freaking die. He should have been killed off, Jeez. And I don't blame any other actors for returning, like Arnold or Jet Li, Terry Crews, whoever else the rest. Antonio Banderas. Oh, I forgot to mention, two other more shitty characters I forgot to mention. There's this Asian woman with blonde hair who, which I don't know who she was. I never gave a shit about her. I don't even know who she was. She's like you blink, you miss, that she's gone. And plus, Tony Jaa needed her help to take this one guy down. I'm like, Tony Jaa couldn't do it by himself. He had to get this help from this one woman who know who the hell she is. That's how forgettable that she was. I forgot she was in this movie. That's how shitty she was. And speaking of, Antonio Banderas is his character in the movie. His son is in this. It's played by the guy Jacob Scipio. He's the guy who played in Bad Boys for Life and the sequel Ride or Die, the new one that just came out, the fourth one. Bad Boys 3 and 4. Which turns out in Bad Boys 3 it was revealed that, he was Will Smith's son. The main villain of the woman in the woman who was the main villain in Bad Boys 3 for Life, right? Her son, it turns out it revealed that, Will Smith is actually his son as well. That guy, he's also in this, and that's how forgettable he was. And he's Antonio in the character Antonio Banderas' character from the third movie. This is his son that's in this movie. And just like Antonio Banderas' character, he will not shut up, still running his mouth like Antonio Banderas' character was. So once again, even two more shittier characters. So another, this adds more to the more of the shit team. God. Everything about this film was terrible. Everything from the cast. I mean, like Jason Statham, he is, you know. I'm glad I saw Beekeeper. Beekeeper is pretty much the best film he's done in quite some time. I enjoy The Beekeeper. It's one of my favorite films of this year. I'm glad I saw The Beekeeper because Jason Statham hasn't had a good track record while me. Meg and Meg 2, don't mind those, but they're not great though, right? Wrath of Man, actually, I did not mind it, so say it was not horrible or bad either. Okay, and it was cool to see Josh Hartnett in there. He hasn't done stuff like WoW, which coming up he's starring in M. Night's new film Trap. But it was cool to see Josh Hartnett in that film. But I'm glad I saw Beekeeper. At least Jason Statham had a redemption when he started in The Beekeeper. Everyone else is so used and lame shit and everything. Okay, pretty much the cast sucks. Action sucks. CGI beyond horrendous shit. Too much of the green screen backdrops, backgrounds. CGI, horrendous CGI blood. So yeah, I hate this film. It's easily would have been one of the worst films in my top 3 worst of 2023. It bombed critically and box office wise. It deserved it. It deserved the Razzies, especially Megan Fox. She deserved her Razzie. Even the other Razzie, which the film I never saw though, but she won the Razzie for that. You know, because she just stopped acting. Stop acting, please. Like I said, I knew the film would suck because when I heard she's in it, I knew it would suck. I knew it would suck right before I even saw the movie. So yeah, this film bombed so badly. I'm glad it killed this franchise. It should stay dead. But you know what? For some reason, they'll probably do another one because, hey, sometimes when films are bombed, they still do sequels. Take what Uwais' shitty movies, for instance, like Blood Rain and Alone in the Dark, In the Name of the King. All those films were panned by critics, and they all bombed badly. Yet those films still got sequels. Why? I have no idea. But I'm pretty sure that this film, this is the end of the franchise because I'm praying it does. Because if this film prove otherwise, box office wise, because at the time they wanted to do a female team of Expendables called the Expendables, I'm like, that's lame and stupid anyway. I don't buy ones like, you know, they wanted like Meryl Streep and Cameron Diaz and Sandra Bullock. I kind of buy it, but Meryl Streep, I don't buy her at all. She's not an action star at all. Cameron Diaz, you know, from Charlie's Angels, But I'm glad that never fell through. I'm like, but you know, all these shitty cast members, you could have got people like Mark Dacascos or Jeff Speakman. Jackie Chan, I know he wouldn't do it. Steven Seagal, I know he wouldn't do it. Because everything has to be one-sided with him, you know, for fights. But as I said, Mark Dacascos, Jackie Chan, even I wish though, but no. Jeff Speakman. Who else? Other stuff hasn't been in this franchise yet. I don't know. But anyway, I hate this film. This is easily the worst. So much more worse. So I better stop now before I get a freaking headache, you know. Like Expendables 3, funny thing enough, they made my stomach upset and made me have to go shit in the toilet. This film may just start giving me a freaking headache now. So I better stop now, but those are my thoughts on Expendables 4. I'm glad this franchise is dead now. After this film. No more, please. So thanks for watching, stay tuned, and we'll see you next time on the next movie review and other stuff too. Later. Fuck this movie. Can kiss my ass.